Right, okay, this will be a shortish lecture on surveys and questionnaires. The text can be found in the notes section of the presentation, and the video is also available. See the relevant folder on Blackboard for various links and documents. So that's what we're going to look at. It's a general overview, and those of you doing surveys may want to go into more details on, for example, questionnaire design for your actual project. But the level of detail here should be okay for the SRMP form. So we don't really like this. So you bought a car and are presented with 100 plus questions. It's almost like they don't ever want you to buy from them again. The satisfaction bank questionnaire is a classic, and we'll just have a quick look at that. So, the worst survey ever, is it suggests in this particular blog post. It was about satisfaction in using a particular bank. Based on your visit to whatever bank it was, you would rate the following as excellent. So you don't have any choice to say it was not excellent. How do you rate the score of 9 out of 10 the overall service bank, which is probably reasonable enough, but obviously the ones at the top is just a totally inappropriate question. It's very much skewed towards getting good results for whoever was deploying the survey. So I'm sure the surveys, those of you who are doing surveys, will be better than these. In all large-scale projects, you will need a plan. At this stage, you'll be quite open, similar to what you're doing for your Gantt chart, but you will probably want to refine this more later, particularly when you're doing your actual project. This is a reasonable approach, but you should think about the requirements of your project again. It's generally worth documenting the process, however. This is a key part of your project development and contributes to the recording of the methodology. This is an example of a team-based plan for survey development. Again, consider how this approach might work for your project. If you want to read more on this, you'll find most of the images in the presentation have links, and the links are also in the presentation notes. So if you want to have a dig into what various things say, just click on the image. Okay, so who are you surveying? Inevitably, many students use other student groups as their cohort. That's fair enough. It's often the most practical approach. If you click on the top image here, it will take you to some information about Teesside University demographics. But bear in mind that any university will probably not be reflective of the wider population either in the region or in the country, let alone more widely. And you may want to compare your results with the wider groups anyway. This is more for your project write-up, where you may want to address differences in such differences in your project critic analysis and recommendations for further work. Again, it may be worth briefly considering these issues in your project plan. The UK image links through to the Office of National Statistics overview of the UK population. For world population, world order meters is a reasonable link, though there are others. So getting the survey out there. Back in the day, students used to stand out in the library with clipboards, vainly trying to persuade other students to fill in questionnaires. This was often a frustrating process, especially if it was normally raining, it seemed. SurveyMonkey is a free online tool that greatly facilitates the process. If you're doing a survey, sign up for a free account. And before the start of your project, familiarise yourself with how it works and the various question options. There's lots of videos available on using SurveyMonkey and other resources. And again, the link is there. As mentioned before, you should always justify why you choose a particular option and a particular method. You might want to think of the benefits of SurveyMonkey compared to traditional paper methods, and also maybe consider the ability to target groups of particular interest to you. The free account is limited to the number of questions and participants. Various staff have licenses for full versions of the software, and you should liaise with your supervisor about this. Generally, the process is to complete a draft survey in your free edition and then copy the survey to your staff account. You don't need to worry about this for now, so don't badger staff about this. It'll be something you'll talk about when you're actually doing your project. SurveyMonkey collects information via a number of methods, including emails and links that can be embedded in social media. So who is who? Data should involve consideration of the characteristics of your cohort, not just the sort of information you're trying to get in general, whether people like apples or oranges. The details we can collect are outside the scope of this lecture, but generally we cannot collect data that allows us to identify individuals. The first three here are reasonably uncontroversial, and postcode is probably okay. Age range is probably more useful than age, it has to be said. It allows you to categorise data better, and there are many definitions of what constitutes, for example, an adolescent person. Items like date of birth, address, or factors that allow identification of individuals should not be collected under any circumstances. Now, there is an issue with SurveyMonkey in that by default it collects the internet, the internet protocol of the respondent. This is effectively located in the computer, which may allow the individuals to be identified, and that's not acceptable. Unless you have a very good reason and specific ethical approval, you need to turn IP recording off. If you see this link and the link in the notes, it'll take you through some information on how to do this. Links there it is. Okay. Looking into the future, when you've collected your data, you'll start the analysis process. This very much depends on the nature of your data, but you may want to start thinking about it now. Excel is a good tool for most analysis, but it isn't the only one. The SPSS statistical analysis package is available free to you from the link in the image, which is University of Teesside link. This is a powerful tool, but it does have a steep learning curve. If you can do it, it's probably better to do it in Excel. Tableau Public is a free data visualization tool. It's worth looking at. Make sure you download the free version rather than the paid for version. We'll have a quick look at a Tableau Public example. Okay, this is from a previous student project looking at various characteristics, why people buy particular types of food. It's a data visualization program, basically, so you can present stuff as a standard bar chart. You can do it as bubble charts, and we'll notice we can also use this to identify particular categories. So if people are interested, want to know how many people are interested in the number of calories in the product, it picks out the sort of foods they're likely to buy. It also has things called tree maps, which are another way of looking at data. The cost is just based as a standard table. Cost versus healthy, again based as a table, but this time with some highlighting done based on the value of various pieces of information. Nice, okay. Legal stuff. There are several relevant pieces of data protection legislation that we must follow. From our point of view, these are managed via the ethics system. If you're doing a survey, you'll need to discuss this with your supervisor. Again, there's links here to the background if you're interested, and also a link through the basics of the ethics form. Again, you need to talk to your supervisor about this. Right, okay, so about 10 minutes through, so I'll break the video up into here, and we'll have a second part of it in a second.